So, of recent, we have seen some panic in the cyberspace, specifically when it comes to the topic of Nigeria. So, a lot of Nigerians are being, should I say, skeptical or they are in a state of panic because of their fear of the statement made by the president of the USA, Donald Trump. So now, personally, I see Donald Trump as someone who doesn't think before he speaks. He's not a man of rationale. So, especially when you look at the issue of the Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So, back in I think February or March of this year, when he had a meeting with Zelensky, his approach was kind of a little bit disappointing, especially when you look at how they spoke to themselves without any form of diplomacy. And so when he made a statement about Nigeria's Christians being massacred, well, I won't deny the fact that there is a security concern in Nigeria at the moment. But even if you wanted to assist a country, there's a way you would say it, not as a threat. So, you know, but as I said the statement, that they would want to invade Nigeria if Nigerian government does not do anything about it in the nearest future. It sounded a little bit funny. Reason being that even if you want to help a country in case of security issues, security concerns, there are ways you should meet with them diplomatically and liaise with them or talk with them. No, this same Western nation, the US, refused to sell weapons to Nigeria. Good night. No, Laza. So refused to sell weapons to Nigeria some few years ago. The reason being that Nigeria at the time endorsed or imposed some anti-homosexual laws, specifically at the time of Goodluck Jonathan. So then they refused to sell any weapons to Nigeria to fight terrorism. Now, we know that that was a different regime, different administration. That was Obama's administration, and now it's Trump, not even Biden. But regardless, good night, sir. Regardless, you can see I'll say some of hypocrisy. Personally, when I assess the situation, especially when I look at Venezuela. So, for example, in recent weeks, Trump has threatened to invade Venezuela for the sake of drug trade, specifically cocaine, even though all research points to Colombia and Mexico for the cocaine deals. And most people have looked at it that, okay, if you are invading Venezuela for so-called cocaine crackdown, what if the war is actually not on Venezuela's maybe drug dealers, but more on Venezuela's resources, specifically crude oil and maybe gold? Venezuela is one of the largest producers of crude oil, and most people suspect that is actually Trump's major agenda. So he's invading Venezuela. He has even, released some aircraft carriers to Venezuela to invade and end the so-called trade of cocaine. So while cocaine might pass through Venezuela as a route, it is not actively farmed or processed in Venezuela as much as it is in Colombia or Brazil or Mexico or other Latin American countries. And most people, specifically myself, have seen this as a similar dilemma. Nigeria, yes, we have case of terrorism and what should we consider genocide? Because just like the Armenian genocide, Christians were being killed in the Middle East. And now in Nigeria's Middle Belt, Christians are being massacred in large numbers. But then, I won't want to say, other countries are also experiencing similar issues. But the fact is, that's the truth. Many other countries in Africa and the world at large are experiencing similar issue. So even Nigeria's case is becoming disturbing, but taken into the level of military invasion doesn't really make sense. And I don't know, personally myself, I feel Trump lacks diplomacy. He doesn't react based on rationale. He's more of a man that will speak the way he likes. And I think the statement where he made that Nigeria will be invaded if the country's government doesn't do anything was made as a result of some arguments, like they were arguing within their meeting, and then Trump just went to Twitter and then posted what he felt was right. But regardless of that, a lot of Nigerians feel this is more about resources, power, and geopolitics. But in Nigeria here, some people are in support, some are against it. But personally, I'll say I'm being objective about it. If Nigerians see this as a means for positive change, we know that as Nigerians we have lots of problems in recent times. We can use this as a way to spark positive change from the politics to the economics and every other sector of our economy and society. But if we are not wise enough, we'd end up like Libya. Because most countries have been invaded by the USA under the guise of democracy and other stuff, have ended up in disarray, like Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan. Afghanistan was invaded for 20 good years, and when the US pulled out, Taliban became stronger. So it's not really about the US invasion, but it's about our reaction. Do we see it as a means to better ourselves, or do we keep on waiting for someone else to come and save us? Because in reality, no one's our savior. We are the only one who save ourselves. So instead, we take the bull by the horn. We continue living that cycle of backwardness and corruption. That's just my humble opinion.